Okay, then let's get started. So once again, good morning and welcome to Geektrust's OneCode Weekend. My name is Krishnan and I'm the CEO at Geektrust. Uh, I'll give you the agenda for today. Mostly, I will give you a quick intro about what does Geektrust do and who are the folks who are coming here to talk to us today. Then we have Simantini, Subhash, Ajit, Vaibhav, and Prabha from three different companies who are hiring through us. Hi, folks. I can see you all.
Hi, Krishnan.
Hey, hi.
Good morning.
So they will talk about what their companies are doing, what's the work that you can look forward to, and all of that. Post which, at the end of it, I will give you an overview about how to go about writing your code, what is the deadline, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the agenda. So quickly, let me get started. I used to work at ThoughtWorks. I was there for about 10 years. Then at the end of 10 years, I felt that, I wanted to do something on my own, right? It was time to, I was getting very comfortable at my work. I think many of us look for a change when we are comfortable with what we do, right? We want to push ourselves a little bit more. So I was very comfortable with what I was doing. So I said, okay, let me start up something on my own. I didn't know what I would start, but I figured out, let me do something. And the only thing I knew was I can work with developers. I've been working with developers for 10 plus years. And I used to help with recruitment in the teams, and I knew how to recruit. So I started up with Geektrust. So when we started, it was initially just me, and a few months later, Sneha and Dhanush joined. And it was now 7 years ago, feels a long time ago. What Geektrust does is we help companies hire developers based on their ability to write code. Not based on what your resume looks like, not based on where you studied, but based on your current skill set. See, that's been our USP. When we started out many 7 years ago, right? This was not something that all companies were willing to look at. So we started working with companies we knew, companies we trusted, reached out to ex-ThoughtWorks folks. We're probably working with 10 companies max in the first year. Today, I'm happy to say there are a lot more companies who are looking at code as the way to hire developers, right? It gives the companies the benefit that they can take a look at the actual skill before the interview. And for a developer, right, really your past, where you studied or what you did in the past doesn't matter. Your current skill set matters. So showcase your code and then find great opportunities. That's what Geektrust is all about. And when you showcase your code, I think if you have registered in Geektrust, you know this. You're looking for clean code. Can you write code that others can read and understand? If you're not clear what is clean code, we have help docs. Once a month, we do sessions on clean code. You get all the support you need from us. We work with about 100 odd companies today. And we have about 1 lakh developers who register on our platform. That's the overview about Geektrust. Now, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about what are the trends that I'm seeing in 2022. It's just the beginning, and tips for job seekers. So trend-wise, many of you are already aware of this. There's a lot of hiring that hiring has really increased in the last few years. In the pandemic years, companies have realized a lot of companies are focusing more on digital, right? A lot of startups are also raising money. So for a job seeker, there are enough opportunities if you're a good coder. The advice I always give to job seekers is don't go only after the money, right? What you need to figure out is there is a company that is a good match for you. There is a company that aligns with what you are looking to do, what your values are. So when you interview with companies, also use that opportunity to understand what is the company trying to do, what does their culture look like, is this something that I am also interested and passionate in? If you can write clean code, we have lots of opportunities, and 3 of those fantastic opportunities are here today with us to talk about what the opportunities of the companies are. But this is key. Hiring is on a high, but make wise choices. Don't go only based on money. Go based on where your passion lies, how you connect with the company that you're talking to, and so on. And the last thing I want to say before I hand it off to our first speaker is, I want to talk about this particular developer who we recently placed. So I think for 10 years almost, he was working at IBM. And when he initially registered with Geektrust, he spoke to one of our account managers and he said, my English is not good. My vocabulary is not great. Will I be able to find a job using Geektrust? And we told him, we care more about your Java skills than your English skills. Sure, effective communication is definitely important, but vocabulary, many of us have studied in our native languages, our Hindi medium, Malayalam medium, and so on, right? But effectiveness is important. Beyond that, your code is important. And this guy listened and he wrote really good code. Today, he's working at one of the top product companies in India. He's got double his earlier salary. I suspect he was underpaid already. That's why he was able to get a big jump there. But because he wrote good code. So my input to you all is, do listen to, we have folks from Villa Plus, we have folks from Zenius, and we have folks from Scriptbox. Do listen to what they have to offer, what are they doing, what is interesting with the work they do. But when that's over, go away and think about how to write clean code. We are available on support. We have help docs for you to help you out. But the key to unlocking working at these companies is writing good, clean code. I won't bore you folks anymore. I will hand it off to our first speaker of the day. So Villa Plus has Simantini, who's head of development, and Subhash, who's head of HR, who's going to speak to us about what is it like to work at Villa Plus, what do folks do there, and what they're looking for. While they speak, if you have questions, do put it in the chat. I'll make sure that we ask your questions at the end of their talk. So post that discussion, we'll have a short 5-minute time for Q&As. Okay. So once again, thank you everybody for coming. And I'm handing it over to Simantini and Subhash to take it from here. Hi, folks, and thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Krishnan. It was a really great introduction. I was enjoying the example which you gave from the guy from IBM. Good morning, all. I'm Subhash, and I'm representing a group, Villa Plus. And I'll start off and later on pass it on to my colleague, Simantini. A quick intro about me. I come with close to 19 years of experience, and I have been with Villa Plus for the last 10 years. And my forte is HR and overall operations. So just to give you a quick intro about Villa Plus. Villa Plus is a curated travel tech group, which is focused into the luxury space. I'm sure all of you guys have been to holidays and have been to the exotic destinations, not recently, but pre-pandemic. So we share the space in the travel sector, and we are having names like Booking.com and Airbnb with whom we are competing. Those guys are really big as they are mere platforms, but Villa Plus is quite unique with its business model because we have got our own properties, which we have in 7 countries, and our focus has been throughout into the European market. So within these 7 countries, we have got our properties in 22 destinations like Spain, Italy, Portugal, Greece, and many more. And we have been focused on to the source destinations where we get our business from, which has been till last year has been primarily UK. And as a step-up plan, now we are going beyond UK and we are focusing in markets like Netherlands, Germany, and Spain. So we are targeting in the coming 1.5 years to reach out to close to 35 destinations. Giving you a background about Villa Plus, right from its inception in 1986, we are a 36-year-old group. And in India, we have got our presence, half of it, which is close to 18 years. And as on date, Villa Plus has got close to 2,000 luxury properties spread across the most exotic locations in the European market. So when it comes to our team size, as on date, we are close to 150 members, and close to 25% is focused on improving the amazing tech experience for our customers. So what exactly we do? We are focused onto the luxury segment within the holiday space. So we have got our properties which we take on long-term lease from the property owners, and we give an option to our customers for the best holiday destinations. So my team is focusing in developing the best applications, which is focused in pre-travel, travel, and post-travel. So I'm sure you guys might have heard of groups like Make My Trip or Clear Trip. So we are on similar lines, but the difference here is that all the properties, what we put on sale on our platform is managed by Villa Plus. We are quite unique with our business model where we give a personalized touch. We have got our properties which range per person per night in the European market. It would be anywhere between INR 10,000 to few lakhs per night per person. So we are positioned. So we are not focused onto the volumes, but we are focused to cater to the customers who have been, who are targeting the premium holiday experience. Now, the next point which I would like to cover is how I'm sure most of you guys, I see a very great participation. Most of you guys would be wondering, a travel group, how have they been over the last 2 years? I have to be very clear to you guys. We also have been experiencing a tough time as we share the space in the travel market, but we chose to remain lean. We are a team. You might be wondering, 36 years, a group which is of 150. We have designed our model in such a way, we try to achieve more with less headcount. And that's where we needed support from a group like Geektrust, which focuses more onto the clean code practices, where we are getting the best of experience, which Simantini would be covering in the later half. So during the pandemic, guys, we have faced a lot of challenge because the flights were grounded and the holidays were not at that pace which used to happen pre-pandemic. But as a team, we have utilized this window to become really robust with our tech experience. So my team has really revisited. Simantini is going to cover that part. But the best part for us has been that today, when we look at ourselves within the holiday space, we are sharing the space with groups like Airbnb and Booking.com because we are not competing with them because they are mere platforms. They are a platform where people can just pay some commission and put their properties on for sale. But Villa Plus is only focusing into a certain segment of our customers, and we are seeing a great potential in going beyond the existing market in Europe from UK to more 35 countries. So I would pass on to Simantini. She would cover more about the tech and agile.
Thanks, Subhash. Thanks, Subhash. Thanks, Subhash. Thanks, Krishnan, for giving us this opportunity. I will quickly introduce myself. I'm Simantini, overall 20 plus years of experience in the industry, purely from engineering background and helping teams to really transform themselves into agile and delivering value on day-to-day basis. We'll not talk much about myself, but talk more about us, Villa Plus. On continuation with Subhash said, our strategic objective this year actually is to enter into around 30 countries with our renewed product portfolio. And as a part of it, we are enhancing our products in terms of new features to deliver best customer experience. When we are entering into 30 new countries, we also need to have multilingual support. And we are also focusing on this touchless and contactless experience. Although personalized experience would help our customers, but this pandemic actually forced us to bring those touchless and contactless experience through our digital platforms. And our digital product portfolio is comprised of various products, which is actually catering the needs of user groups like customers who are willing to book holidays with Villa Plus, villa owners who wish to register their villas on our platforms to be able to do the hassle-free business with the help of Villa Plus. And last but not the least, our internal users who are supporting our core business on day-to-day basis. Coming to the renewal journey, as a part of our product portfolio renewal journey, we are transforming our products with the help of latest technologies. From the tech stack point of view, we are on Microsoft.NET. Latest version, we are using 5. We are also, some products are on Angular 6. Our app, all applications are hosted on Azure, and we are using Azure DevOps for DevOps activities. When it comes to way of working, we are following Agile in terms of, when it comes to practice, it is basically combination of Scrum, Kanban, and extreme programming. And as a part of this transformation, Agile transformation journey, we have actually tried to make ourselves as a self-organized cross-functional teams. My teams are comprised of full stack developers, meaning they are responsible for end-to-end development, from requirement to deployment, from front end to back end. We do not have any specialized roles in the teams because we believe that full stack developers are capable of building software end to end. When it comes to our organization structure, we have a very flat organization. We do not have a hierarchy as such. I mean, if you look at it from the hierarchy point of view, development teams in India, I actually lead those teams. My reporting goes into CTO who sits in UK, and the CTO actually reports to CEO. So that is how the hierarchy is very flat, and we believe in lean team structure, which Subhash already mentioned. In this transformation journey, our guiding principles have been from the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. I believe most of you know what I'm trying to say. It is also from the Manifesto of Software Craftsmanship and the Lean Software Development. So what we are trying to do over here with the help of our guiding principles is we are trying to build simple solutions by writing simple, human, readable, and clean code. We are adopted practices like test-driven development, behavior-driven development, continuous integration, continuous development. And our focus is on continuous improvement and learning. We also believe in failing fast, taking feedback from our stakeholders on a regular basis so that we don't have surprises at the end of the sprint. And we believe in delivery value on day-to-day basis. When I talked about sprint, our sprint duration is very short. In 1 week sprint, we pick stories, prioritize stories from the backlog. We work on those, we develop those, and we deploy those stories in production environment as and when the stories are completed. We do not have long release cycle. This is because of the kind of business we are in and which actually demands a lot of pace and a lot of changes also to the software. So what we have seen over the period of time, because we are not taking any decision just for sake of doing it, but overall this way of working actually has helped us to deliver value at sustainable pace, and which also helped us to make our customers and users happy. So our repeated customer base is more than 60%. Even during pandemic, they were making sure that they stayed with us. And now when the travel space is booming back, bouncing back, our 50 to 60% repeated customer are again coming to us and booking holidays with us. So this was, very high level information about what we do on the technical viewpoint. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Simantini, I have a couple of questions just hearing. Yeah. Sorry, Subhash, did I interrupt you? Were you going to say something?
No, I was just sharing one more point that the experience what we had with Geektrust in the recent past, where we have been successful in getting a lot of like-minded people who believe in this clean code practice. So that is something which I just thought of sharing.
Yeah, thanks, Subhash. Thanks for that endorsement. I have a couple of questions hearing you folks speak. Simantini, I think this sounds very interesting. Following the full CI/CD, you folks are going the full hog in the the sort of craft of writing code. So my question to you is this: I think a lot of folks have that as an aspiration to do. A lot of folks want to be in a space where they're working at a company where they learn about writing clean code, they follow CI/CD, Agile. But unfortunate reality is there is probably a top 1% of 5% of companies that actually do this, right? So my question to you is this: for folks who have that aspiration but are not that today yet, like for example, TDD is not that commonly, or BDD is even rarely done. For somebody who's good at writing code and has the aspiration to learn BDD, what is the philosophy of Villa Plus? Will you be willing to take them in and help them reach those goals?
Yes, Krishnan, because what we believe in is when we are talking with people, when we are talking with candidates, we actually see the potential, because you as a person, you will not be defined by what you have done, but will be, what you are aspiring to do. And company like Villa Plus, we are, there to support these kind of aspired people and bring them to the next level. So definitely we would like to do that. And when it comes to all these practices, Krishnan, just wanted to mention that we have complete buy-in from the leadership, and everybody in the organization is really, aligned to that. So there is no hassle, because I have seen many a times, heard also from the candidates saying that, yeah, I want to do it, but my management, but my leadership is not aligned to do that. But that is not the case in Villa Plus. There is 100% buy-in from all of us in the organization, because as I said, we also do come from the same mindset and same background, and we believe those are the beneficial aspects to build any software. As I said, it's a well-crafted software from Software Cross-Partnership Manifesto.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, so
just to add on to what Simantini said, Krishnan, I have been part of discussions where if let's imagine there are 6 boxes to be ticked, 3, the candidate was not very confident, but the 3 which he answered, he was 5 out of 5 with interest shown that he is learning in the background, though his project has not challenged him, his company has not given him that opportunity to use those skills. We feel it is right way areas to invest. So we have gone ahead with those cases. Right?
Got it. Understood. So folks who are listening in, you've got the potential, you've got your skills in writing code. Don't worry about the practices. As long as that is something you want to pick up, Villa Plus is, a place where you can learn these things. One more question on the tech stack, Simantini. I think you mentioned full stack developers in the C# stack. I think from what I remember, Angular is the front end side. Would that be correct?
Yes.
And you are looking folks for C# and Angular experience, because I see a couple of people asking, is Python already in your tech stack, or what's the case there?
Yeah, it's Python. We are not into Python actually. Angular, yes, C#. And let's say if you are having experience in any front-end technology like React, but then if you have ability to learn, so just this platforms and these frameworks, it's just a tool that we are using, but you are really able to do and switch and learn Angular, then we are open for it. Krishnan.
Great to know, Simantini. One last question to Subhash before I thank you guys. Subhash, what's the work from home policy, or what's your pandemic policy right now? I think everybody who's interested would want to know that. What's your take right now?
We are also sailing in the same boat. We have designed plans around our teams. We have not forced our teams to get into our plans. So we have got mothers working. We have got mothers who have got kids, their school still has not started. So to answer to your question, Krishnan, we are flexible. We are right now going with a hybrid model where we are allowing individuals to work from home. But we have also come across cases where individuals want to be a part of office, right? So we have got a physical office and as on date, the leadership team and few of our team members were very excited to work from office under one roof. We have already started post-Diwali, but we have got a sizable team who are still working from home. So it's a balanced thing.
Great, good to know. I think that flexible. I just want to get back to office, to be honest. I'm just so tired of being at home. Okay, Simantini and Subhash, thank you so much for coming, taking time off on a Saturday morning. Great talk.
Our pleasure.
Enjoyed hearing about Villa Plus. Thank you.
Right. All the best to everyone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Location is, you folks are based out of Pune, right?
Yes, we are based out of Pune, but after pandemic, there is no Pune. It's India. So
exactly. Yeah.
From anywhere can be a part of our family.
Great to know. Great to know. Thank you so much, folks. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So that was Villa Plus. You've heard about what they're doing. For the next talk, I would like to invite Ajit and Vaibhav from Zenius. Ajit is CTO at Zenius and Vaibhav is VP Engineering. Both of them are super experienced folks. Ajit has been in the industry for 20 plus years. Vaibhav's been there for about 16 plus years, working across product management, AI, the whole hog. Folks, thanks a lot to you folks for coming in. Again, I know Saturday mornings can be crazy sometimes, especially for people like us who are, working at home. So thanks once again. I will hand it over to you all to take it forward.
Hey, thanks, Krishnan. Can everyone hear me okay? Am I audible? Okay, awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, I'll quickly introduce myself. By the way, hello and selamat pagi. That is, hello in Bahasa, the language of Indonesians. I'm Ajit. I have, nearly 2 decades of experience building and launching products from inception to launch and scaling it across regions, APAC, EMEA, and US, right? Across various domains, EdTech being the latest, and Zenius is an EdTech company. So if you think along the lines of Baiju, Vedantu, and the likes, Zenius is very much in that same space, right? So I head engineering in Indo and India. We have offices headquartered in Jakarta. We have a WeWork office in Bangalore, which it's open. But no one's going there yet because of the pandemic, right? And then we have a satellite office in Gurgaon, right? We are around 80 people strong as it stands today, and we are looking to hire around 50 engineers across, the 2 offices in India, right? Let's get to the problem statement, right? What is Zenius trying to solve here, right? So let me throw some facts to you guys. Indonesia is the 4th largest education system in the world, right? Which means we have around 50 million students, 3 million teachers, and 300,000 schools, right? So that's quite a huge opportunity for any company, right? For any business to thrive. But why are we doing what we're doing? What is Genius trying to solve here? So there is a Pisa ranking, right? What it does is, what is this Pisa ranking about? It's a program for international student assessment. What it does is, right, of all the countries in the world, it ranks, the education system of different countries. So you're either in rank 1 or you're rank 50. It kind of tells you how well, how educated or how well your students and teachers are doing in the education space, right? So the PISA report for Indonesia is ranked at 73rd for maths, 74th in reading, 71st in science, out of 79 assessed countries. What does this say? This says that there's a lot of work to be done in the education space, right, for Indonesia. And hence, Zenius is on a mission, right? The mission is to spark the love of learning in everyone, everywhere, and to question everything. What is the vision? The vision is to build a smarter and more enlightened, Indonesia, right? And how do we plan to do this? The way we plan to do this is to accelerate learning outcomes through technology and bringing the right people in by hiring, good talent across Indo and India to achieve the 10 MAU, right, which is the monthly active users in Indonesia by 2024, which essentially means grow 10x by 2024, right? That's the goal that we have given the vision and mission that, that I just shared with you, right? We have 3 products, that cater to 3 different segments of education, right? We have primary, we have secondary, and professional. The 3 products that we call is Genius Land in association with Disney. We have secondary, which is our core app. It's both on mobile and web. And then we have professional, which is Zen Pro, which is lifelong learning, right? Think about Udemy, Upgrad, those kind of things. You can relate to them, right? So given all this, right, whatever you've heard so far, there is, it's a very noble cause, but it's also kind of a huge responsibility, right? That we want to take the education system, the PISA ranking of everyone out there in the education space, to the next level, right? And I'll hand it over to Vaibhav, my colleague, to kind of take you through the slides on how we plan to do it. What are the steps that we have in mind in order to achieve our goal. Over to you, Vaibhav.
Hey, thanks, Ajit. So before getting started, I thought, I'll just give a bit of an origin story about how Zenius started and the key milestones that we had in our journey. So the company started in 2004. It was built with zero capital. by a bunch of passionate educators. And, I think this picture looks like, something from a dinosaur era where people will still meet in person and use whiteboards to teach each other. But yeah, those were the days. Then over a period of time, in order to kind of scale and amplify the impact of education, they had to actually embrace technology. There is no way out. So in 2010, the Zenius.net website was launched a DVD series. In July 2019, the Zenius mobile app was launched with 80K plus content library. And in Q4 2019, we received our Series A funding and appointed a new CEO who was the former COO of Gojek. One thing I definitely want to call out here is that while the technology adoption has come quite late, but we definitely want to invest a lot more in technology now. But I think more than a decade of experience of teaching people definitely ensured that the pedagogical, philosophy and how do you teach something and the content, that aspect got nailed down very well. So a quick snapshot about the company. We are accessed by more than 16 million users across 300 plus rural and urban areas in Indonesia. Current monthly active users is 1 million, and we want to grow this to 10x in the next 4 years. We have been growing 4x in our revenues year on year, and the current revenue is 10 million USDs, right? And the way we read leaves right now, I think we should definitely double this in by end of 2022. We have a very large content library, I was mentioning a while back that, and all of this is original, handcrafted, curated content with 90,000 plus learning videos and hundreds of thousands of exercise questions and solutions, which gives us an edge, by the way. We have raised a total funding of $40 million in the last 3 years. We are strong number 2 in Indonesia. We are within 20 to 25% of the market leader, and we are not the ones who are claiming this. There's an independent agency called App Annie that keeps track of market leaders in tech across various sectors and domains. So this is what they have to say about us. We were the winner of Global EdTech Startup Awards in 2021 amongst 1,200 submissions around the world, not just Indonesia. So typically, the way we look at our, this entire user segment, the first is of course students, a lot of them. And of course, we want to use our products to meet their pragmatic needs, number one, which is that, hey, you want to get good grades in school. You want to actually go to a good university, right? Have a good life. But more importantly, what we essentially want to do is to also impart skills so that they become natural long-term intellectuals, which is the idea that, hey, given a specific problem statement or any problem statement, right, you can actually break it down. You can think logically, you can think critically. And it typically shows, just like a startup, we do invest a lot in our marketing, but, a lot of our traffic is, and a lot of acquisition is still organic, right? A lot of our students who actually come to our platform is still through virality or through actually referrals. Because if a student likes the platform, they say, hey, why don't you try Zenius? And that's how actually really we grow. Now that marketing spend is not a mix of this, but a lot of it actually is still coming through organic channels, which is pretty cool, by the way, I think. We also deal with teachers in places where they co-create content with us. We also actively and support teachers how to teach students more effectively. We also work with governments across various levels, across local, center and state level, where governments also have certain financial literacy programs to launch, right? And we make that happen, right, for them through our platforms, right? So in a way, we ensure that they have certain literacy missions that government has to launch. Let's help them. Let's ensure that the citizenry of the country, right, also benefits through our platform. So this is just a smattering of the use cases that we have. I didn't want to clutter this this slide a lot, but we are doing a bunch of things, and this is how probably you can look at us. For example, hey, if you have a problem, you can take a picture, right, of the problem and send it to us via WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp bot will get back to you, or maybe submit that picture and your question through other interfaces that Zenius has. We call this ZenBot. So if some of you who actually follow EdTech in India would kind of think of this like the Doubtnut use case. We have pre-recorded video lessons, of course, on our app and our web platforms. Think of it like Byju's, right? Pre-recorded video lessons. There are many times where teachers want to actually conduct live sessions for their students, and we enable that through our platform. Think of us like Vedantu, where we offer a multimodal, interactivity, right, over a live classroom. We also have courses for lifelong learning, like working professionals when they graduate from college. Think of us like, in that case, Udemy. This product is called ZenPro. We partner with Disney, right, and use their characters to teach elementary kids, right? And that product is called Genius Land. And I think this is quite public now. I think a bunch of you might already know that, Baiju acquired a very big offline education center called Akash in India. Very similarly, Genius recently acquired a very large offline education center in Indonesia. And now we want to actually build something around a very hybrid model of learning where, hey, you actually get the teachers to teach you in an offline setting. But when you get back to your home, right, you have the technology provided by Genius and the platform so that you can actually better your learning outcomes. So just to summarize all of this, so Genius, we want to actually make Genius an AI first company. So because Genius is available across a person's, across the learning needs for a person, right from elementary to K-12 to exam prep to lifelong learning, right? One of the interesting things that we're trying to build and focus a lot more is we're trying to build a universal knowledge graph. So what does this mean? That what we're trying to capture in the knowledge graph is that, hey, you take a user or a student, right? We break down their skill levels across multiple dimensions at a very granular level. Then we take a piece of content, right? We break down that content across various granular levels. We take a piece of assessment or a question and we break it down, right? And so when a user interacts with the app, the lesson plans, the flow, and the interventions would be done by the AI so that the experience for a user is extremely adaptive and very personalized. Just to actually make this point a bit more clearer, when I moved to standard 9, this was the first time I had read this or saw this in my mathematics textbooks. Fx is equal to x squared. And I had no damn clue what is Fx is equal to x squared, because prior to this, all I had actually looked at was basically, LHS is equal to RHS, and you got to move a bunch of variables here and there and find out the value of x. This seems like a very trivial friction point, and I think a lot of you suffered through this and persevered also and were victorious. But these are friction points where people drop off, right? Take one more example. If you were to give an H.C. Verma question, right, and solve a question on optics, right? And that specific question on optics had a bit of trigonometry involved, right? And let's say you were not able to solve it. A lot of people give up with these friction points and they think that, hey, this is STEM is not for me. Science is not for me. I'm not smart enough. That's not the real case here. Essentially, if you're not able to solve a specific optics problem, it could happen so that, the physics concepts of optics were very well, understood by the student. But in order to actually solve it, there was a specific lesson from trigonometry that the student did not understand very well, right? So the AI intervention will tell that, hey, by the way, we understand that you understand this question very well. But in order to actually solve this, why don't you actually revise or look at these specific prereqs, right? This is based on your understanding, what we know about you. And that actually ensures that, we build end up a kind of quite a level playing field for everybody on the planet, starting with Indonesia first, of course, to ensure that, there are no frictions, right, in learning. Everybody should be able to learn. And we should have a very level playing field. All right, so in order to make all of this happen, you need people. So we need engineers. We need to invest massively in our engineering. And so who do we need? I think we need Tony Stark, the guy from Avengers who can build stuff, cool stuff. Or maybe we need rock stars, right? Like Nickelback, right? I think they kind of famously popularized the song, Hey, I Want to Be a Rock Star. So I think my take is that, no, we don't need them. I think basically we need humble, fun-loving engineers who love to write beautiful code, and I'll explain that what it means, and are eager to learn and help others to learn. We are in the learning business, first of all. It's actually an education company, right? So we want people who can learn a lot. Nobody knows everything, and can also help their teams to learn. We stress a lot on writing beautiful code because software engineering is a very team sport. Whatever code a developer writes, I think it will ultimately get compiled, executed, and interpreted, depending on what kind of language you use. It will work, but essentially we want to ensure that the code has to be human readable, right? Which essentially means the following, and this is exactly what we stress a lot in our PR reviews and everything, that hey, the code actually needs to have right separation of modules. One, use dependency injection, right? Just do it right so that there is no challenge at all. Your variable naming, right? Don't make it look very random. Just think of it like somebody when they understand your code without actually going through a documentation, they should be able to understand things. And basically, most importantly, every language has a certain way of doing things. For example, if you're a Python developer, there's a Pythonic way of doing things. For example, if you're a Java developer, the Javaesque way of doing things. Let's say if a JavaScript developer, maybe you want to do JavaScript way, right? For example, you might want to use destructuring, right, to do things and things like that. So we focus a lot on that also. So what do we offer? So we offer very diverse team culture, and seriously, no kidding. This doesn't really happen to me when I get into a tech call with the entire town hall. No, in a very small meeting with 5 or 6 people, I'll actually hear people from Serbia, Nigeria, Morocco. Yes, we have gone and hired talent there also because we're too crazy about hiring greatest talent. Indonesia, Bangalore, Pakistan, Malaysia, so you name it. I think we have a very interesting setup. And the reason why this actually is very appealing is because all of us have gone through an education system, and there are bits that we totally hate about it. And now a very diverse diversity that comes into play here is actually a pretty awesome thing. To build some cool solutions. We offer great work-life balance. So personally, I'm not in favor of actually having tired engineers in a team at all. I think they're the most dangerous people. They write very buggy code, and that results in a snowball effect of actually tiring other engineers out. So we do offer great work-life balance, and that's the way we plan things around here. We have a very competitive salary benchmark. So it is actually no less than the best companies or the best startups that are there in India right now. Salaries are pretty competitive. Also, our ESOP policy, which does present a chance to make quite a good generational wealth, given that still Zenius is not that big. But most importantly, we offer very challenging work. Basically, anything that you do at Zenius ends up affecting millions of people, right? And so in terms of any kind of a small design thing that you have to do, just think all about scale. Given the fact that all the products are extremely viral, so the million people actually end up inviting a million more people. And those million people end up inviting a million more people. So systems can actually easily get choked up if the design is actually not very well. Your DB just might totally die. WebSocket itself, in this case, might actually be a costly operation. It has happened to us. So yeah, so I think there's a lot of challenging work where a lot of code has to be written right from scratch, and of course under the tutelage and under the guidance of senior leadership and senior architects here. In order to achieve it, we are planning to have 50 engineers across India and Indonesia. And if you do like our vibe, please join our tribe. We would love to have you around here. That's it, Krishna, from my side.
Yeah, I'd just like to add on, 2 more things to this. If you want to be part of the 10x growth, come and join us and experience the scale. In terms of business, in terms of tech, in terms of product, all of it is 10x, right? That's the goal that we're looking at. And the latest trends in edtech, metaverse, blockchain, we are early adopters, right? And we are already looking at bringing them into, the Zenius umbrella. So if metaverse interests you, if blockchain interests you, and 10x scale interests you, then Zenius is the place to be. Over to you, Krishnan.
Hey, thanks, folks. Extremely interesting. Sounds like a lot of things happening, a lot of good stuff, very exciting place to work at. Few questions that's come up. I'll read from the folks that are asking, but I also have a few questions. This is big, right? You're saying you're going after primary, secondary, professional. It's like combination of all of India's unicorns almost. So do you have global ambitions as well, or is the target audience going to be Indonesia for the near future?
You want to take that, Vaibhav, or should I?
Sure, Ajit. So I think the idea is that, there's enough amount of depth in Southeast Asia itself. And we definitely want to conquer that, given that we have the home advantage over there. But, everything that we're building here, the pedagogical approach and the tech stack, right, and the AI, you can just use it anywhere else. It should not be a problem. So in that way, we're actually building tech that's actually future-proof.
Understood. And I'm seeing, ever since I guess Gojek was the one that brought this in, a lot of partnerships between Indonesia and India, like a lot of really good tech partnerships happening. And you folks have worked in other companies too. What's it been like to work with a Southeast Asian companion company? And you also mentioned people from all over the world. What's the work culture like? How do you folks manage the different diversity of thought, experiences, language, and so on?
Yeah, I can take that. Indonesian people come across as very humble, very warm, easy to work with, not very aggressive by nature, right? So in that aspect, very easygoing and very easy to work with, right? And they have the aspect of curiosity in them, so they're willing to learn. They want to work with people who they can learn from, right? So in that aspect, I think wonderful experience working with them, right? We also have people from rest of the world, like Vaibhav mentioned, right? We have people from Serbia, from Nigeria, and other places. See, I think as long as your craft is good, right, and you can communicate effectively, it really doesn't matter where you are, right? You can be in any part of the world, as long as you're good at what you do and you can communicate and articulate enough as a developer. I think that's all we look for.
Understood. So on that line of thought, I just want to ask the next question. I loved it, Vaibhav, that you mentioned about the rock stars and you want really humble people. Back in the day when I was at ThoughtWorks, we made this team together of about 15 rock stars, and it blew up. They just couldn't work with each other. It was just a royal mess. Humble engineers who are willing to work well, put their heads down, listen to their stakeholders, customers. That's what we need. So my question is, what do you look for in candidates when you interview candidates? You did mention clean code and so on, but what is the interview process like? What are you looking for in your potential hires?
Sure. So basically, our interview process consists of primarily 3 rounds. One bit is, of course, looking at somebody's clean code, which is what we call a tech execution round. Code is non-negotiable. People can talk, but you can code right. So that is something that we look forward to. Once that is done, we primarily look for somebody's design chops, right? And that actually totally varies across iOS, Android, front-end, or backend, and across various levels. But essentially, what we look at is that, hey, you should understand, if somebody's from backend, understand distributed computing quite well. You should be able to optimize your queries well, choose the right data systems, right? And then finally, towards the end, we actually go out to hire. We don't go out to actually be very snooty and reject people. No. So we actually capture a lot of feedback about a candidate, and then I look at a lot of hiring comments myself. And if there is a spark or a chance, we definitely take that. And then towards the end, the bar raiser round, with myself or Ajit or with somebody else here in the team, we try to just double whether, hey, is the guy coachable or not. So again, we don't actually stress a lot on actually dynamic programming or DS other questions. I think typically the idea that, hey, if you're a smart engineer or a good engineer, you should just wake up in the morning and come for our interviews. That's it. We don't want you to prepare. If you are coding already, why should you need to prepare? And that's how we have actually designed our tech rounds also and interview process.
Awesome. Great to hear. Last question, and then I'll let you guys go. Folks, we have put the JD in the chat, but what's your tech stack, Ajit? What do you folks work on primarily?
Well, it's largely Node.js, React Native, iOS native, Android native. And then we have, in some cases, we have Clojure. And then we also have, I think we have, what was it? We had one more. I am not getting that name. There's one more that we use in the ecosystem.
So I think Ajit, you kind of covered everything. So
okay.
We have got Node.js, based around TypeScript, Clojure. But actually, I would say that the entire backend is probably 80% still Node.js, and that's totally fine. The bit that we don't really We don't actually are very snooty about languages. So hey, we can be totally polyglot. If the team actually decides that I want to build a service because I love Golang, let's do it. That's fine. Just follow the coding guidelines. That's all.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Vaibhav and Ajit, for coming and telling us about Genius. So folks, go and read up about them. You can apply. The link is right there in the chat. Thanks again for coming in on a Saturday, folks.
Thank you, Krishnan. Thank you for having us. It was a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay. So last but not the least, we have Prabha from Scripbox. Geektrust has been working with Scripbox for, I think, from the time we started. So we have a very close relationship. More than 6 years we've been working with Scripbox. Prabha, I think you also have used Geektrust as a developer, and now you're using us as a client. So thanks for being part of the Geektrust family. Over to you to tell us about Scriptbox.
Yeah, are you able to hear me and see my slide? Yeah. Okay. This is Prabha. I work as an Associate Vice President at Scripbox. So as Krishnan was telling, I got the opportunity only through Geektrust, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my journey here. So let me give a sneak peek of what Scripbox is. Scripbox is India's #1 digital wealth manager. So it helps you plan your personal investments better. And with respect to returns, you will be able to see 2x of what you actually achieve in a normal traditional mode of investment. So that's what Scripbox helps you in with. So Scripbox, as I said, we is a digital wealth manager. So we founded around 2012. And right now, you wouldn't believe that we have around 89,000 plus customers. We are there across 2,500 plus cities, and we are managing around 4,300 crores of assets as of now. A brief history. We started only with mutual funds as the only mode of investment, but right now we are there. We are having our footprints across almost all the areas. So we are at insurance, stocks, international stocks, name it, whatever, we are there right now. So bonds, golds, FDs, NPS, PMS, these are the different kinds of investment that you will be able to do with Scriptbox. And I just want to show a sneak peek of how our growth trend is. We are actually going by 1x, 2x, and now 4x. And for the upcoming year, we have a goal of around 10x growth. So that's the roadmap that we are having with respect to Scriptbox. So how do we achieve this growth without the best engineering practices, right? So the engineering practices that we follow at Scriptbox are domain-driven development and solid principles for writing clean code. So this has been done right from the start. So when we started around 2012, we were only stuck with a monolith, but the domain-driven development and the solid principles and the attitude of writing clean code has really enabled us to change this monolith and migrate this monolith into good microservices. So most of our features, most of our servers are now follow this microservice architectural pattern. And we have cloud native solutions which enable us to meet the SLA that we have in agreement with our clients. So we have zero downtime deployment. So we finish at least 10 to 12 features per day, and we make sure that it goes live without a downtime. And with respect to horizontal scaling, yeah, we see big traffic which is coming to us and hitting us. Our service should be scalable. So we achieve all this horizontal scaling with the help of Kubernetes as an orchestrator, and the auto scaling helps us deal with the high throughput that is expected out of our service. So reliability is of a top concern to us because we are there in the financial domain, so we have to be as accurate as possible. Precision is of utmost importance to us, so we are highly reliable, and we have been like 99.99%, 999% available according to stats from the previous year. So we have at most zero downtime in the previous year. We also ensure that there is durability and fault tolerance at all levels. So we have the event-driven architecture in place so that we will be able to make sure that the high loads of data that is coming in is getting processed, and also the asynchronous requests that are coming in are being met with. And everything happens through code. It's all infrastructure through code. Right from the time you do a check-in to your CI server till it goes to production with the help of a one-click production deployment. Everything happens through code and it's all automated. And that's how we are able to survive at least 10 to 12 deployments per day without any downtime. We work with all the cutting edge technologies in the market today. So Elixir, Node.js, React.js, React Native, Ruby on Rails are the predominant stacks that we are using. But having said that, we are going to be language agnostic. We just want the right minds in, and we really don't bother about the languages, and we don't stick to that. So yeah, I will just go over the developer practices that we follow here that makes our product a top-notch product. So we follow all the agile methodologies to the T. We don't follow it just as a ritual, but because we believe in it. So the rule here is anybody can fail. We are encouraged to fail, but only thing is we have to fail fast and recover fast from it. That's the only ask from the company. And you can make mistakes again and again, but not the same one. That's the only thing the company asks from us. So you are free to explore whatever you want at Scripbox. And we follow all the agile methodologies like IPM, story kickoffs, DevBox, QA, showcases, and retrospectives, so that we get quicker feedback. And in case there is something which is not working, we will be able to align ourselves better very quickly, right? All of features go with the test-driven development. We have every feature getting unit integration and end-to-end test cases written to it. And we also have good automation test cases, which help us know whether the last commit that we did to production works well in the production environment or not. So we have continuous integration and deployment which help us enable faster deployments, frequent deployments to our service. And we make sure that we have peer reviews. So our peers are our best judges, right? So we make sure that we get feedback in case of any feature, in case of any kind of a performance review. So feedbacks are an essential part of our company. And so it's not like you are given a module, you have to develop it, nothing like that. We are a team. So whenever there are problems, we huddle up as a team where we brainstorm and check if there is something that we could help the fellow developers with. And we make sure that there are no knowledge silos. The peer review model helps us to make sure that we know what the other guy is actually doing. And also, you don't get stuck to the same project for a long time. We make sure there are rotations in place so that you get a bigger picture of the product and not just getting stuck to whatever you are doing for a long time, right? With respect to culture, we have a very open culture and freedom to an extent that you could have a chat with the co-founders. Be it like a concern that you have with the product, or it could just be a chat over a tea. The co-founders are really readily available. So CTO, CEO, COO, anybody is really highly reachable. And we have a very good work-life balance. We have flexible work policies and a very supportive management during pandemic, and which will continue post-pandemic as well. So I have seen the management to be very empathetic and very supportive from the time I've joined. And we were in the news recently. Scripbox has raised around $21 million funding last month. And a big thank you to all of you for joining this session. So as I already told, we just want the brightest minds and the best minds to come with us. We are language agnostic. And thank you, Geektrust, for giving me this opportunity to speak here.
Hey, thanks a lot, Prabha. Super interesting to hear about Scripbox and great to hear your enthusiasm about. I'm happy that you're happy at Scripbox too. Excited to hear that. So one thing that struck me as we were talking, Prabha, was you're using a variety of tech stacks, right? From Ruby to Elixir to Node to different things. So how does someone, when they join you, obviously, I'm guessing 90% are not going to come with all these tech stacks. How do you support people learning?
So yeah, we have good mentorship programs that are available. So whenever somebody joins a team, we make sure that we do pairing so that they get enough context on what the product is and also what the language is about. So you get this pairing sessions till the time the candidate is really comfortable with. And we have good policies that help you finish a course or certification in case you feel comfortable doing it. So there is reimbursable options there which enable the candidate to do it. And as said, we are free to reach to anybody. So we have top gens in the company who are really very good at a particular framework. So you are always free to reach, apart from the team members who will be able to offer you immediate help.
Got it, understood. And I think that's important, right? When you have so many tech stacks, you come in and never worked Elixir before, that support from team members becomes critical.
Yes.
In that context, how are your teams structured? Like, do you have smaller teams or is it one large team that is working? Because Scriptbox has been around for about 6-7 years, fairly mature product now. So how are your teams structured?
Teams are really very small in size. So we have around 10 to 12 microservices here. So each team takes care of each of these microservices. And also front end is a separate division altogether. Approximately a team size would be roughly 5 to 6 members. That's it.
Got it. The classical pizza size sort of teams, 5 to 6 people.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And from an interviewing perspective or from a candidate perspective, what are you looking for in your potential hires?
So we just want people who are really enthusiastic, who wants to learn a lot. That's the only thing, and a very open mind. So we will be able to mend them according to what the product actually needs. That's the only requirement that we ask for.
Got it. And from a technology stack perspective, considering you're working on multiple, I'm assuming if you're good with any one of Scriptbox's technology stacks, you'll be happy to interview folks. Would that be fair?
Definitely. Yes.
Got it. Okay, Prabha, so thanks a lot. We have already 5 minutes over time, but it was great fun to hear you talk about Scriptbox and what you folks are doing. Exciting times ahead, and congratulations on the fundraise.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Prabha.
For the opportunity, Krishnan.
Yeah, so all the speakers who have come today, thank you so much. I really enjoyed hearing about your companies and the work that you're doing. So lastly, I'll use the next 5 minutes to quickly tell you the next steps on the coding challenge and all of that. And then we'll take it from there. I'll just share my screen. Give me a second. Okay, can you see my screen? All right. So what you need to do is you need to solve any one coding problem. So we have backend opportunities, we have front-end opportunities as well. You need to just pick one. It's not both. All right. I just want to be clear on that. Solve only one problem. If you're a Geektrust member already, you've already written code, then you don't need to solve this. We will get in touch with you over Monday, Tuesday. If you have not written code, you need to solve one. Pick whatever your strength is, backend or frontend, and solve it in a language of your choice, whatever you're comfortable most with. You've heard all the 3 companies today. We have from C# to Ruby to Node.js, and we have Java opportunities there as well. So there are a lot of open things. Play to your strengths. When you're written code, you need to go to the submit code button at the top, and then you need to upload the source files, exclude all your node modules, libraries, executables, etc. Upload the source files. We will give you the chance to test your code. We'll give you a little bit of feedback on your code as you test. And once you have done testing, you can submit. The testing feature, unfortunately, is available only for backend. For frontend, you can just submit your code and we will get back to you. If we find that your code has been copied, Geektrust enforces a lifetime ban. So you'll not be able to use Geektrust ever again. The badges that we're looking for are correctness, obviously, whether you have gotten your build scripts. I have multiple people who have pinged me personally asking for how to get the build badge and how to get your code executing. Go check out the Geektrust help docs. In that, we have a section on building your code for all languages. We've written down how to do it, from Python to Java to Golang, whatever your language of choice is, we've written that down. Go read that, try it out. If you get stuck, email us with the error saying, hey, this is what I'm getting stuck with. And the email address is help@geektrust.in. Just for Java, we have started something new recently called a starter kit. If more people are asking for this, we will introduce for other languages as well. But for right now, you have a starter kit where you can download, everything will be set up and you can just start coding. Finally, the submission deadline is today, 10 p.m. So take your time. This is not a, you have heard all our companies speak, right? We are looking at the ability to write clean code, not whether you can write code quickly in half an hour and upload it. Because in the longer term, coding is not a competitive exercise. It is a collaborative exercise. You need to write code others can read and understand. So take your time, rework your code, make corrections if needed, and then send it out. And for help, need any questions, you can reach out to us, help@geektrust.in. The WhatsApp number is also available. When we mail you the coding problem, we will put this information as well. So finally, pick one problem, either the water management problem or the admin UI problem. So all the best, and we look forward to your code submissions. We'll leave the chat open for the next 5 minutes in case anybody has questions. We'll try and answer that. Post which I would suggest just you will receive your email. If you have not got an email with the coding problem, do mail us, help@geektrust.in. If not, these are publicly available as well. If you go to Geektrust coding problems, you can see this too. Okay. So most of all, thank you so much. All of you, more than 160-75 people have come for this event. Thank you so much for attending. I appreciate the time and effort that you have taken. I appreciate your faith in Geektrust. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Krishnan. Take care, guys. Bye. All the best.